Hello, hello, hello! Today you get to see my shining face. I don't always show it because normally I show myself driving or, I pull from my dash cam or I'm just showing you the city that I'm in. So today I thought I would kind of talk to you a little bit though about PI work and some of the stuff that you do not see. Forgive me if I'm getting sidetracked. I am technically at work. I'm just expecting a very slow day today. I don't think I'm going to see my subject at all today. I think we only have 4 days with this particular subject, and I am on day 4. And I've only caught them out of the house once. And I believe I got lucky on that day, honestly. What? Who are you and what do you want? But anyways, so my head might be moving back and forth a little bit. I am going to keep an eye out for the vehicle. Not really expecting to see it, but I keep an eye out anyways. So, in my downtime, I wanted to make a video and kind of talk to you a little bit about, so many people have had so many questions about PI work, and as some of you may know, I've only been doing this a little under a year now, right? Like 8 months, something like that. So I'm still learning. I didn't get a whole lot of training. I got 1 week of training where I rode along with another investigator. We never even tailed anybody in that time. I want to try to make a video of explaining just a few things about PI work that you don't see and most people don't know about. There's a lot of things that suck about PI work that a lot of people don't see. Anytime I tell people I'm a private investigator, they're like, oh, that's so cool, that's so cool. Yes and no. First of all, I am in my car for anywhere from 8 to 13 hours a day. I've thought about joining a gym. I mean, clearly I don't visit a gym very often. I really don't like gyms. It's not that I don't like exercise. I don't know what it is. I just don't really like gyms. And also they always screw you into some sort of like contract in 2 years and yeah, fuck all that. But I've considered it just simply because I am in my car for 8 to 12 hours a day. I don't get a lot of exercise. I've tried to kind of watch what I eat. I've had to change my diet due to some health issues. So I'm kind of hoping that'll help a little bit, but really I need to get more exercise. I really do. The problem is at the end of 8, 10, 12, 13 hours, I'm exhausted. Okay, so I am licensed in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Normally, I go around to the Pittsburgh area when I go to Pennsylvania. I've never had to drive more than like 2 hours and 20 minutes. That was outside of Pittsburgh somewhere. So yeah, sometimes I'm driving 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. Then I do an 8-hour day. And then I drive 2 hours home. So that's 12 hours right there. The reason I said 13 is sometimes those 2.5-hour drives, it ends up being like a total of 13 hours. Then when I get home, then I have to do my report writing. And then I have to put the video together and upload it. And then the third thing I have to do is send an email with basically a shortened version of what happened for the day. It's like a little synopsis for the day, right? But now our notes. So I go into my company website, and on our notes, every hour, just making sure, every hour we have to update, right? I arrived at 7 a.m. If I arrived at 7:03 a.m., I put 7:03, okay? And then I will work till 3:03, like on the day. It's whatever time I arrive, I arrived at 7:03. So depending on who the client is, some of them want to know how long did you travel there? How long did you travel back? And that's probably because they're charging the client mileage or whatnot. Just kind of depends. So to make things a little bit easier, I try to keep up on my notes during the day. At 7 a.m. we arrived, surveillance was initiated at blah, blah, blah. Here's the vehicles that were in front. Nobody was outside the residence, okay? At 8 a.m., this vehicle left. It was followed up to the gas station at 123 Main Street, whatever. Like, we have to put the address of everything. So it was followed up to, you know, Walmart at 321 Berry Street, whatever. And then let's say we follow the vehicle. Let's say they got tinted windows, okay? We follow the vehicle because it left the residence. We're not really sure who's driving. And we follow it up to a gas station or Walmart or wherever, and one person gets out. And it's not our subject. And, you know, wait a couple minutes, make sure nobody else gets out of the vehicle. Okay, then I update my notes. The vehicle was followed to this gas station. It was determined that a single unidentified female got out of the vehicle, and it was then determined that the subject was not in the car. So then what we do is we go back to the residence, and then we'll update our notes. Okay, I followed the subject for 5 minutes. Let's see, they left at 8 a.m. At 8:05, they arrived at this gas station at 123, blah, 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 whatever. A single unidentified female got out. It was determined that this was not our subject, or the subject was not in the vehicle. Let's say the subject is male. It was determined that the subject was not in the vehicle. Then we turn around, we go back to the residence, and then we'll put, okay, let's say it was 5 minutes to the gas station, right? So 8:05, blah, blah, blah. 8:10, 8:11. Even if it's 8:11, we don't put 8:10, we put 8:11. Surveillance was reinitiated back at the residence, you know, at the subject's residence at blah, 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 123 Main Street, whatever. No activity was observed outside. Every hour, we have to update that. Now, if there is activity, we have to update that every minute. So we have to write down every minute what happened. And that's why normally we'll just sit there. We will record. If it's a real busy day, I'm following my subject all over town while they're painting the town red, whatever. And then I follow them home. And then let's say they start doing yard work outside in the yard, right? They start mowing the yard and trimming the bushes and edging and whatever. I have to put every minute what happens. So we can add notes on it. I can't really show you, but on our website, we can add a note. So we will put, you know, 7 a.m. arrived at 123 Main Street, and these were the vehicles and blah, blah, blah. That's one note. Then we go down to the next one. We can keep doing that, keep adding a note, right? At 8 a.m., no activity was observed. Nobody came, nobody went. There's been nothing. So we just mark that. 8 a.m., no activity was observed. That's the next note. 8:01 a.m., they leave the house. They go up to the gas station. Like I said, I realize it's not our subject. 5 minutes back, I go back. Now I got to go back in my downtime. If I see nobody's outside, I will try to go back in my downtime for just a minute and try to update that real quick, so it's less that I have to do. Now, I can go back, put the whole video together when I get home, and then timestamp everything. So that's the other thing. We have to timestamp all of our videos, put it all together, and then make it one big video that we upload for the client, right? So, and all that is very, very time consuming at home. So that's one thing that really kind of sucks about PI work is I'm not done working when I get home. It is so time consuming. I get home and I'm still doing my report writing. I'm still making my video. I'm putting all that together. And if I have a whole bunch of different shots, that takes a long time. Because for whatever reason, so we use the camcorders. The camcorders does timestamp when you look through the little window. But for whatever reason, you can't, these camcorders, they won't just, I can't make it just add a timestamp on there, which is really annoying. I'm like, why? Why can't I do this? And I get, the ones they picked have a really, really good zoom. Okay. The others that do offer a timestamp and are a little bit fancier and do that don't have the same zoom on them. They don't zoom as far. So it's like, you know, so I kind of agree with what they, you know, gave me to use is with this camcorder. I'd rather have the zoom and use an application to timestamp it, rather than being able to pull the timestamp and not be able to zoom in as far when I'm, yeah. So I'm still working when I get home. I get home, I try to get as much of it done as I can, but I really can't get the video done until I get home. simply because I don't know, like, they could, let's say I get off at 3 p.m., right? I got here at 7 a.m., I get off at 3 p.m., and my subject walks out the house at 2:55 p.m. and decides to go paint the town red or do all their shopping or whatever. Guess what? My day just got longer. I will follow them. I'm so used to working for companies that are like, oh, no overtime, you can't go overtime, and in fact they're trying to like keep you between 30 and 40 hours. But no, they're cool about it. They're like, hey, you sit there all day, nothing happens, and your subject leaves at 2:50 or even 2:55 p.m. and you get off at 3, follow them. Follow them. I don't care if you're following them for 3 hours afterwards and then you follow them home. Follow them and then add that, you know. And then my notes are going to look like 7 a.m. no, or 7 a.m. surveillance was initiated at blah, 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 blah. 8 a.m. no activity. 9 a.m. no activity. 10 a.m. no activity. 11, 12, 1, 2 p.m. Not 2 a.m. 2 p.m. no activity observed. 2:55 p.m. subject left the house. Mobile surveillance ensued. It just kind of depends on the investigator. Some investigators will actually, like, they'll film everything, timestamp everything, put it all together, and then update their notes. And some days you just have to do that, because if you're following them all over the place and you're recording this and that, and then you're home, and then it's time to get off, and then you go home, you didn't really have time to update your notes, right? So it is kind of easier to just put the video to, pull all your videos off, put it through a timestamp app, which is what we do, which timestamps everything. Now that app will pull it directly from whatever time, like it sees whatever time it was taken. It takes it from the time that the camera puts on it. The camera just won't physically put like my little date and time down here at the bottom, which is so annoying. And if I've got like 28 videos, because that has happened. Now they're 28 short videos, mind you, okay? I got you coming out the house real quick. That's a short video. Then I got you getting out of the car and pumping gas. That's another short video. And then I got you getting out of the car and going into Dollar Tree. That's another short video. Then, let's say I follow you into Dollar Tree, and I'm recording you with my phone. Now I have covert video on my phone, and now I got to pull it off my phone, and then I got to timestamp that. And then, that is very time consuming also, because I have this nice wide video like that my camcorder here takes, right? It's widescreen, it's very beautiful, whatever. Then I go in and I take video with my phone, okay? Well, I can't very well do this, right? And make it landscape, because that just kind of looks suspicious if I'm following you around like this, right? Now, if I'm following you around like this, you're probably not going to think anything, especially if I'm looking down and I act like I'm doing this, like, what else did I need while I was here? I don't remember. Whatever. Okay. So, most people are holding their phone like this, so I hold my phone like this, right? Well, the problem with that is then I have, as you've seen, like on YouTube, right now I've got this short vertical video in this big widescreen and all this space on the side over here, right? That's not cool. I don't like that. Now, I could just timestamp it and upload it like that. I like good quality videos. I don't want my boss or the client to go, oh, this is really good. Okay, let's say I've got my subject outside and they're doing yard work, right? So I get all that with the camcorder through my car. And then I follow them into a store, right? And so now I have this, vertical video. So they just went from watching going, oh, this is good stuff. Okay. Oh, wait, what is that? Well, it's kind of small. Oh, they're in a store? Okay, what's he doing? I don't want my boss doing that. I don't want the client doing that. Therefore, that's why I take it at a half or 1, because I'm going to tell the program, hey, I need you to make this the same as the rest of my videos. And it will. But it does that by zooming in, right? So now I've got to pull it down, right? So I've got to pull it down to where the subject is actually in the shot. Now, because it's zoomed in, if they move out of the shot, now I've got to cut that part. Now I've got to pull it down, put it back over here. So now the subject is back in the shot again, okay? It makes it clear and a little bit easier to see. And it keeps it all widescreen, which I like. but it's very time consuming. Now on top of that, mind you, I just took a video like this, right? When I time-stamped everything, my timestamp is wee little bitty way down here at the bottom of the video. Well, I just blew it up so that you're only seeing like here to here. Because let's say that here's where's my subject is, and the rest of this is the top of the store, and this is the floor, whatever, right? When I put it through the timestamp app, it puts the timestamp right there. Now I can only choose right there, right in the middle, or right up top. Neither of those are really good. So then I have to go through and re-timestamp it, right? Because now it's in widescreen. All of that is so time consuming. So if I have a subject that's very active during the day, they are all over the place, and I follow them into a couple of different stores or a couple of different places, and I've got video on my phone, I've got video on my camcorder, and then it all has to go onto the iPad. So this is an Android. What they gave me was an iPad. The two don't play nicely together. So what I have to do is, I have this thing, okay? You can make whatever comments you want about what it looks like, I know. But anyways, so this is an SD card reader, right? And we put the SD card from the camcorder into this. And then we put it into here, which goes into the iPad. And I'm so glad that work gave me this, because these are really kind of expensive. So what I'll do is I have a separate folder on all of these for covert video from my phone. But what I have to do is first is hook the phone up to a computer. Take all the video that I've taken off of my phone for the day, the covert video that I took. What I do is select it and cut, right? So it deletes it off my phone. Then I paste it onto here. Now I've got everything onto here. Now it goes into here, and now my iPad will read it. Now I have to organize all that. Each video is something different. Sometimes I've come home and had 28. I don't know what the most I've had so far. I want to say the most videos I've had is something close to 50. I don't think it was quite 50, but it was close to it. It was like 48 or 46 or something like that. That was a lot. Also, my iPad doesn't like it when I take really long videos. I kind of have to chop them up and put them together. If I upload one and then try to timestamp, oh my God, it just takes my iPad forever for some reason. It really does not like long videos. So I've learned to chop them up a little bit, which is kind of a pain in the ass. And that's the other thing. Okay, so I take all the videos off my camcorder for the day, right? I put it through the timestamp app and say, okay, timestamp all of these. One, I've noticed with that timestamp app, it's normally fairly accurate, but there's been a couple of times where if I put too many videos in at once, like if I say, okay, here's 48 videos, timestamp all of them, it's really off on some of them. But if I go back and say, okay, take this one video, because I've caught it when I'm like, that wasn't that time. That doesn't make sense. This came after this. Why would it timestamp it? This is not the right time. This doesn't make sense. So I'll go back and be like, okay, put this one video here that I have through the timestamp, and it gives me a completely different time. And I'm like, okay, that's more accurate, but why the hell did you? So yeah, that's the other thing I've noticed. Don't put more than like 10 videos through the timestamp app at a time, because it's gonna mess it up. Then after it timestamps everything, it puts it in no kind of order, none. So, and it's kind of small at the bottom. So then I'm looking for, trying to put it in order so I can put it all together in one video, right? I put it into a video editing software program. But then they all have to be in order. They all have to be in order. I have to timestamp all of it. Then I have to organize it all. Then I have to put it all into one video. My boss doesn't seem to understand how long that shit takes. But let me explain integrity shots for a second. On a day like this, where I'm not seeing my subject, there's no activity coming or going from the house to the house, nothing's happening, we have to take what's called an integrity shot. So every hour on the hour, okay? If I get there at 7:11, if I get there at 7:11 a.m., at 8:11, I need to take another shot of the house. At 9:11, I need to take another shot of the house. At 10:11, it doesn't have to be right on the dot at 11, but I do try to make it pretty close. I think today I got here at 7:25 a.m. A lot of my integrity shots have been at like 8:30, 9:35, 10:32, something like that. Like it's close, right? Just about. It doesn't have to be right on the dot. I have to take an integrity shot once an hour. And then I put all that together. Now that's real easy. That takes no time to timestamp, you know, pull it all off, timestamp it, put it all together and put it up. It's usually like a one to 2 minute video at the most. But that just proves like that we were there. Now sometimes, for some of our cases, so I am Eastern Daylight Time, right? So what they will have us do is go to time.gov. You can see that. I think you can. Okay. Now, if you zoom out, it gives you the whole United States and the different time zones. So, if you never knew what time zone you were, go to time.gov, look up your state. It'll show you what your time zone you're in. So, I'm in the Eastern time zone, so I'm going to blow it up, right? And I blow it up to usually right here, just so they can see this part, the time.gov, that I'm actually on that website. You can see the seconds, right? You can see the seconds turning there, okay? So then I have to take a video of, okay, it's 11:58. Okay, I'm going to take a video of, I'm going to use my camcorder, which I'm using right now, but I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to use my camcorder and record it right at 11:58, 22, 23, 24, right? And then I'm going to move it all in one shot up to my subject's house. And that also helps prove to them, like, see, I was here and I took this integrity shot at this time. So that's also another really good way that we prove to them, besides the checking in, because a lot of times I forget to check in. Sometimes I forget to check in when I get there, just because I'm doing so many things and I'm trying to pay attention to like what's going on with the house and what cars are there, and especially if there's a new car there, I'm trying to get that license plate number and figure out who that belongs to. Is it somebody that lives there? Is it somebody visiting? What's going on? A lot of times I'll forget to check in, and especially I'm so bad about it at quitting time. I've gotten now to where, which I'm sure my boss is like, what the hell? When he looks, I've got now, let's say I get off at 3 p.m. I've got now where if I think about it at like 2 or 2:30 or whatever, I'm like, ooh, check in real quick. So he knows like I was still here, because let me tell you, 3 o'clock comes, my brain just goes, woohoo, quitting time. Like, that's my brain right there. Okay, my brain's just like, woohoo, it's quitting time, let's go. Because I know I still have a bunch of work when I get home, right? So the last thing I'm thinking about is checking in. For the most part, if we have subject activity, I don't have to add in all those integrity shots. They only want to see the subject activity, okay? And like yesterday, my subject came out onto the porch twice and then went back inside real quick. I think I got a whole 30 seconds of subject video. It sucks, but what can I do? My subject was a bit of a hermit. They don't really leave the house that often, and they came out on the porch, kind of looked outside, went, what a nice day, went back inside. Came back out again, like, I don't know, a couple hours later, checked the mailbox, kind of looked around, said, okay, went back inside. That's all I got. I was actually thinking, I'm like, you know what? An integrity shot would have been longer than the video I got of my subject and uploaded. Because integrity shots are usually about a minute long, because it's 10-second videos every hour, right? So like 80 seconds. But sometimes we'll cut those down. Like, sometimes I'll cut them down to like 5 seconds, 7 seconds. Like, you don't need all that. Like, here's the time. Here's, you know, my subject's house, whatever. Now, story time real quick. When I was training and I was in the car with the investigator, he told me a story that one of their investigators a while back, I guess, was taking integrity shots or taking an integrity shot and then using the same integrity shot. Like, I guess he wasn't sitting there. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he just went home. Maybe, I don't know, but he was taking the same integrity shot, or using, I should say, taking an integrity shot, using the same integrity shot all throughout the day and saying, see, I was here and there was no activity. Now, maybe the check-in feature wasn't available when this guy worked there. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Maybe that was a new feature they implemented after this guy. I don't know. But yeah, he said he was using the same integrity shot and just saying, see, there was no activity all day. Here you go. And uploading it. That is monumentally stupid. Why would you do that? Like, if you're going to be dishonest, at least be smart about it. But, I don't know. Well, smart and criminal usually do not go hand in hand, right? I was like, that's really stupid. Why would you do that? At least, like, if you're going to be dishonest about it, at least sit there and take, like, what, 7 or 8 different shots in the morning? And then put all that together? But even still, see, like, somebody like me, I'm like, no, even still, a house looks different at 7 a.m. than it does at 3 p.m. because the sun moves, right? Perfect example. I still got a shot of my subject's house yesterday, even though I got 30 seconds of video. Actually, I think it was less than that because the very first video was just of the house. We always take a video of the house. Just real quick, first thing in the morning when we get there, right? And we always upload that just in case, like if there is no subject activity and we didn't see our subject all day, then we upload a picture or that video of the house. See, here was the house when we got there. Here's the house when we left. Still the same. Nobody's come or gone, blah, blah, blah. And we'll take a still screenshot from that and send it to the client. Like, okay, well, here's a picture of the house. Like, we were here. It's time-stamped. Sorry, we didn't see our subject. You know, it happens sometimes. I'm pretty sure today's one of those days. Not what you can do about that. You can't make them leave the house. Although sometimes I want to. Sometimes I just want to set a firecracker outside in their street or something just to see if they'll come outside and be like, ooh, I can't do that, but I want to. On days it's really boring like this, sometimes it's really tempting. It's like, what can I do to make you come outside? No, I can't. Yeah. That's those intrusive thoughts going, what if you... No, I'm not allowed to do that, but that would be funny. But no, can't do that, no. Since he told me that story in my training, I make it a point to try to take something different if I can. Like, oh, hey, the FedEx truck arrived right now, so let me take an integrity shot real quick because the FedEx truck is on the other side of the street or something, right? And by the way, FedEx trucks and UPS trucks block my view when I'm recording all the motherfucking time. Every goddamn time. I'll be recording my subject like, yeah, here comes a fucking FedEx truck, just bloop. And we'll park right there. I'm like, bitch. Or UPS, they both do it because they're big boxy trucks. Every time. But anyways, so I try to get, hey, this blue car was going down the road. Now there's a red truck that went by. Like, I try to get something different, but I've also noticed, like, it's just stupid. The sun moves throughout the day, dude. You can tell if this was taken at, as a matter of fact, my subject's house yesterday, I still uploaded the picture of the house. We always do that. Like, here's the picture that we got of the house for the day early in the morning, and then here's the pictures we got of the subject activity, right? So I usually send that in my email at the end of the day. And I did that yesterday. And I was like, ooh, the house is really bright at 7 a.m. It faces east, and that sun is just bright. It makes that whole house really bright at 7 o'clock in the morning. It looks a lot different at 3 p.m. That's just shit that I would look at, And that's the kind of shit that I look at in pictures too if I'm doing other investigations. Looking, yeah, I look at shit like that. I look at, well, there's a picture of the house, but the sun, like there's a shadow on it halfway down. I wasn't taking it at 7 a.m. I was taking it at noon, I just gotta look at the little details. Another thing, a lot of people wonder, how do your bosses know that you're actually where you say you are? That's a good question. I'm sure every company's different. Now, when I worked armed security for like the armed security MPI company early last year, and after my graduation in 2022, they had an app where we could clock in and out. We used that app to clock in and out, but it also gave them a map of, you know, where I clocked in at. This company does something very similar. It's on their own website, though. It's not, they don't really use an app for it, which I feel like actually works better. The app was very wonky with the last company, and sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. Now, this so far has worked beautifully. I go and I check in, right? It's not really a clock in, it's a check-in button. But I can hit the check-in for, and there's a check-in button for each subject. So each subject I will check in. There's a check-in button at the bottom, right? So yeah, it'll have my name, and then it'll have the time that I checked in, and then it gives a little link that says map. And any of my bosses, actually I believe any of my bosses or any of the other investigators even, I believe, can click on that map and see, where did you hit that button at? Where were you at when you hit that button? Hold on one second. Okay, fresh battery. I bring lots of fresh batteries and SD cards because I never know how much recording I'm going to be doing of my subject. You just never know. So I try to come prepared. So let's see, I explained report writing. Oh, the other thing that really sucks about PI work is finding a bathroom, especially as a female. I will just say one of the guys trained me, carried a gallon jug that he kept in his like back floorboard behind him to piss in. So he didn't have to leave the surveillance. I can't do that. However, I will say, as a female, I do carry a pack of Depends on me. And I also have some of those, like bladder incontinence, the pads that you can, you know, slip up in your underwear if you need to. I've got those too, just in case. Normally it's not an issue. I can hold it. There are times where you really gotta pee and you cannot leave your spot, right? You can't leave that. Sometimes I will. Now, if I've followed my subject around and they've done all their shopping and they got home and they unloaded everything, that is a great time to go to the bathroom. Like, go find a bathroom if I need to. Because they just got home, but if they're not getting right back in their car, because I assume if you're getting groceries and things and then you're just getting right back into your car and going somewhere else, like you wanted to unload the cold stuff or something, that's only going to take you like 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to get back in your car. So I'll give it like 5 or 10 minutes. If I don't see you leave and you're probably home, like for the day or at least for a little while, right? It's usually a safe bet that I can run to a restroom real quick as long as there's one close by. I didn't realize how many gas stations don't have public restrooms until I started this job. So now I actually leave a review everywhere I go, especially gas stations, if they have a public restroom or not. And that's because I might be in that area again. Are you fucking kidding me? My battery's about to die again. What the fuck? Oh, this was a full battery. What the fuck? Okay, so yeah, bathrooms are really kind of hard to find sometimes. I've actually found my go-to is fast food restaurants, especially McDonald's, because a lot of times McDonald's is the only one that has their inside open at 6 a.m. And a lot of times I'm traveling at 6 a.m. and I might need to go to the bathroom before I get there. So, hold on. Okay, I don't know why, but that battery died on me in like 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on with that, but okay. Okay, so yeah, bathrooms. Fast food places have kind of been my go-to. They're cleaner, they have more than one stall, usually, and nobody bothers me. I will say though, as long as it's a rural area, okay, and I have done this in very rural areas or, you know, where there's not a bathroom for, like, you have to drive 10 minutes to find a gas station or, you know, a fast food place or anything because you're way out in the sticks. The good thing about being way out in the sticks like that is I can usually find a pretty heavily wooded area to like pull my car in and back in, and I will pop a squat. I carry napkins, and I also carry these with me. I am not beyond like pulling my car up somewhere and popping a squat behind my car and go pee outside. It's no different than like I used to have to do it when we went camping, and we were camping in tents years ago, right? So yeah, I don't mind doing that. Like I said, I gotta go number 2 though. I gotta find a bathroom. I am sitting in my car for 8 to 10, 12 hours a day. If I have to sit in a residential neighborhood, I have to call the local PD and let them know that I'm there. Where I'm at, where I'm sitting, what kind of vehicle I'm in, and how long I'll be there, and my phone number. That's usually what they want to know. Occasionally, depending on the police department, they'll ask different questions, like am I armed, who am I with, what company am I with, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, those are the main things they all want to know, right? And I normally give them a courtesy call and let them know, hey, I'm in the area, I'm sitting on this street, I'm in this vehicle, here's my license plate, I'll be here till such and such time, and they're like, okay, thanks. Because that way, if anybody does call, not wasting their time, and they're not blowing my cover. Because I guarantee you, somebody's going to call the cops on me, because they're going to be like, this chick's been sitting in her car for 4 hours, it's weird. As a matter of fact, I had some guy actually pull out of his driveway and start recording me. You know, I was like, you know, I put my window down, I said, can I fucking help you? He goes, can I help you? You've been sitting here for 4 hours. I said, yeah, I work for the repo man. I'm looking for a specific vehicle, and I'm waiting for it to go down this road. And I will be here till 3 p.m. I said, you want to call the local PD? They know I'm here. He was like, oh, well, I hope it's not my car. Have you not paid your car note? He's like, oh, no, I have. I said, well, then I ain't here for you. Fuck off. But I try to also find places where I can sit, where I don't have to bother them or call them. But I do call as a courtesy, just because people will call the cops on me and be like, there's some lady sitting in her car. Now it'll help once I get my windows tinted. I'm getting them tinted next week. Finally. It was an expense that I just couldn't afford just quite yet, and I kept putting off and whatever. But yet next week I'm finally going to get them tinted. And I didn't go limo dark, but I'm going to go close, because I'm tired of people knowing if I'm in my fucking car or not. Hopefully I can sit on a residential neighborhood and nobody will fucking bother me. I'm also getting the ceramic, which really cuts down on heat, like a lot. So that's going to help a lot too, because let me tell you, so I guess that's another thing. In the summer and in the winter, like spring and fall are not too bad because it's nice and cool. I can put the windows down usually and just sit. Summer and winter, I'm sitting in a hot car. So to not sit in a hot car, I'm running my AC, and I'm running my car all day. It's not really good for the environment, not good for my car, right? Not much I can do about that though. Same in the wintertime, right? If it's 20 degrees outside, I'm running my vehicle. And then you can kind of see the exhaust for a little while, right? So that's kind of a dead giveaway too. Finding a place to sit is hard. Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier. So a hard sit and an easy sit. So a hard sit means there is nowhere around to sit. Okay, it's a country road like I was talking about earlier. There's just no good place to sit, which means I have to keep kind of going back and checking the residents and going back and checking and, you know, driving through and taking quick video. But I can't really keep eyes on the residents and see who comes and goes, because that's a hard sit. Okay, there's just nowhere to sit. An easy sit would be like where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm not saying this is an easy sit, but I'm just saying. So I am technically in a church parking lot right now. Okay, my subject's house is literally right down the road. It's not really ideal, but I can see like if they pull out, right? So I can see if their car pulls out from that street. Not as well as I could from where I was at a couple of days ago. That's okay. I'm still in a spot where I can see if they pull out. Now, technically there's a house, and I don't want to show it to you because it's very identifying. There's a house directly across the street. As a matter of fact, there are people home. There's some guy that's been out doing some sort of yard work or cleaning up or project, or I don't know. I really haven't been paying much attention to him because I'm looking for my subject, but he's been out here all day, and I kept thinking, I was like, man, I wish this was my subject. This would be great. Great fucking video. I can sit in my car across the street. It looks like I'm just parked at a church. Once I get my windows tinted, they can't really see if I'm in my car or not, especially if I turned it around and filmed out the back. This would be a fantastic easy sit. I've had a couple of subjects where it was that easy. There was literally a parking lot right next door or right across the street, and we could see everything, and it was great. That is an easy sit. Or even if it's just, you know, there's a good spot to sit where nobody's going to really bother me. Even in a rural area, there's a good spot to sit where nobody's really going to bother me, but nobody's going to really see me either. But I got a good view of my subject's house. In Pennsylvania, I have learned to use Pennsylvania's hills to my advantage. If my subject's house is a little bit lower, there's almost always a street on either side that is quite a bit higher that I can go up and I can get a real good view of my subject's house. The only thing is I got to make sure it's not too far away, because if they leave, I need to be able to follow them. I don't want to be so far up that if I see them getting in their car, by the time I get down the road and back up to the, I've lost them. Like, I don't want that, right? But yeah, I've learned to use Pennsylvania's hills to my advantage. As much as I bitch about them, I use them to my advantage because, yeah, it's helped sometimes. Now, I've also had people in PA where my subject's house was at the top of a hill. That does me no good. Yeah, then I'm at the bottom and then I can't see. So then I gotta wait for you to come down the hill. That's kind of one other thing that really sucks too are the hours. Now, I'm really grateful because I actually am normally home between like 4 and 6 p.m., which is about normal for any other job, right? Which is kind of cool, right? I normally don't have to work nights. Our cameras actually, as well as the zoom is and everything on them, they take really shite video at night. Unless you have a night vision something or other, which I don't. So, normally, we only work days, which is kind of nice. I'm normally home by 4 or 5 p.m. However, I usually have to get up really early. A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times I have to get up really early. And God forbid if they say, hey, we have this case for you, it's in Pittsburgh, and we need you to do an early start because we think they're, you know, working in construction or whatever, right? That means I have to get up at 3 a.m. so that I can get everything ready and get myself ready and leave the house by 4 so that I can be in Pittsburgh by 6 a.m. Let me tell you, those days suck. Suck. Big time. And there was also a case that I did take where I was helping a couple out with something, and they wanted me to, I don't know how to say this without saying too much, but there was a case that I had where I had to do surveillance on somebody that was in a very rural area, and, well, let's just, I don't know if I can say it, and this community, all I can say is this community got up very early. They are known for getting up very early in the morning. Therefore, I had to go out between 2 and 3 a.m., set up a covert camera, and then come home so that we could watch the house remotely. That was not fun, because then I had to keep getting up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, go and change out the battery and everything, and reset everything up and make sure everything was good at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then go back home. That was rough. So the hours can suck. And I'm sure other companies, I'm sure they do surveillance at night, and, you know, other PIs do surveillance at night, and that's not fun. I could be off and be home by, today I'll be home by like 1:38 p.m. Fantastic. Love it. Right? There's other days, though, that I might not get home till 7 or 8 p.m. because I didn't get there till a little later and I had a long drive. So the hours are very unpredictable. Hot lunches. I do not get a hot lunch very often. I bring a packed lunch every day. It's almost always a salad or a sandwich. Today I brought a sandwich. They're real easy. I can put a little ice pack in there. It's fine. It'll keep a salad cold. It'll keep some yogurt cold. I could do that. It just kind of depends. If I think I'm going to have subject activity, I take a sandwich, because obviously I can eat that while driving if I get hungry, right? Because that's happened a few times where my subject leaves the house right at lunchtime and I'm starting to get hungry. So, you know, I follow them, but I pull up my sandwich and I start eating while I'm driving, while we're following them, because I'm hungry. I always bring snacks too. Like I've got some peanuts and I don't even know what all else I brought. Oh, some little banana chips. Like I've got some, you know, I try to keep some somewhat healthy snacks. So I've got snacks too. Yeah, so I rarely get a hot lunch. A couple of times it has worked out where I followed my subject into a restaurant. Even still, so the one time I followed my subject into a all-you-could-eat buffet, like all-you-could-eat Chinese buffet. That was fantastic because I could just go up, pick the hot food that I wanted, come back, ate, recorded, you know, from my phone while I was eating. That was awesome. The other time I followed my subject into a Denny's, right? And I purposely ordered a salad because, first of all, I just love salads, almost all salads, like just regular salads. I'm not big on pasta salads, but anyways. So yeah, I just ordered a regular salad because I thought a salad won't take too long to put together, and that way I've got time to eat, and also because they're probably going to leave before I do, right? So I want to try to get that video. So, and I wasn't really in a good spot. I mean, I tried to ask them if they could sit me somewhere, but specific, but they're like, oh, that's for bigger parties and blah, 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 and whatever. Guys, if you work at a restaurant and somebody asks for a specific spot, there's a reason. Please give it to them. That irritates me. I had a couple of restaurants do that. They're like, oh, well, da, da. I was like, can we sit here? And then finally I was like, look, due to my back issues, I need a solid chair, or I need this, or I need to not be in a booth, or I need to be in a booth, or whatever. And then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. You can sit wherever you want. When it's a disability issue, all of a sudden you're compliant? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. So yeah. Hot lunches are a rare thing. There was one other time where I was doing surveillance and I was kind of at the end of a street waiting for my subject to leave the house. And the subject rarely left the house. But I was waiting for that subject to leave the house, and right across the street, like almost right next to me, the company was setting up a whole bunch of like Chick-fil-A sandwiches that they had gotten, and some chips and drinks, right? And so I went over because I was going to buy one. I was thinking maybe they were selling them or something. And so I went over and asked. I was like, hey, are you guys selling these, or what's going on? I'm like, hot lunch. Hello, I'll take it. They were like, oh, no, this is for our customers. Are you one of our customers? Now, I should have just lied. But like, oh, yeah. But this was like an electrical company that I think you kind of have to have like a contract with, kind of thing. It wasn't just like a store where you could just walk in and say, yeah, I'm a customer, I've shopped here before. Like, I had a feeling it was like something where you have to be a client and signed up with them, and yeah. So I just had a funny feeling they could check that and make sure, see if I was a customer or not. So I was like, and I was like, actually, no, I'm not a customer, I'm sorry. And so I just told them, because I mean it was several houses down and they didn't know they were a business. I said, I'm actually a private investigator in the area. I said, but you know, I'm working down the road a little bit. And I said, but yeah, I was just wondering if it was something I could buy. He goes, oh, you know what, we've got plenty here, take one. So I got a free hot lunch that day, which was kind of cool, and I thanked him very much. So see, sandwich. Okay, so the other thing is we do use our own vehicles. Okay, I do have to pay for the tinting on my car. I don't get any reimbursement for that. I bought the car in June, so I've had it just under a year. Today is like, I don't know, May 23rd. Okay, I got it June 30th of last year, so I've had it almost a year. This car had 17,000 miles on it when I first got it. I am now at 45,000 miles, 593. I have put almost 30,000 miles on it in a year. The tires you go through, the brakes you go through, the oil changes, oh my God. And of course my car has to have fully synthetic, which are $100 oil changes. I just, now my work does give me what they call a daily auto advance. It is money towards all of that, which is kind of nice. It really does help, you know, the cushion of everything. But like last paycheck, I ended up having to do tires and brakes because I was neglective, and also because I just haven't had time due to work. I had to do tires and brake, all 4 tires and brakes in one paycheck. That was so, like, ouch. Ouch. I gotta get my windows tinted. Ouch. I need an oil change, which I'm getting on Sunday. Ouch. You know, the car maintenance is unreal. So that's another downside to it. The only thing I'm grateful for is the dealership that I went through offers something called forever warranty. Okay, so as long as the vehicle is in my name, they cover the engine and transmission for the life of the vehicle, even after I pay it off, as long as it's still in my name. So if the engine goes to shit, the transmission goes to shit, and it's still in my name, they will replace it. Now I found out that they don't replace it with a brand new engine. It's a slightly used engine, but that's okay. If I've got 200,000 miles on this thing and it goes to shit, and they put one in that's got like 50,000 miles on it, okay, I'll take that. I'm good with that, you know? So I purposely did that because I knew I was going to put a lot of miles on this car. Oh, one other thing that I almost forgot. We also have to do our own time cards. So we have to keep track of our time traveled, and we have 3 different things. We have report time, we have regular investigating time, and then we have drive time. And we have to put all of those in, and all 3 of those are paid at a different rate. So that's the other thing. We have to do all our own time cards. There is no just punch in and out. Even though I check in, that's not a clock in. I still have to do my own time card on top of all the report writing at the end of the day or at the end of the week. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. I hope that kind of opened your eyes a little bit. Like, PI work is not as glamorous as everybody thinks it is. You know, you see like the Dick Tracy and the Columbo and the cool PI shows and movies from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and I don't even know if there's a lot today. I don't know. There's a lot of true crime stuff today. But, you know, they made it look so glamorous and so cool. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. And when I'm tailing or when I'm on it and I've got subject activity, oh my God, I'm having the time of my life. I love the job, okay? But all the other stuff sucks. The work to life ratio, it's not there, okay? When you do what you want to do, like, you know, everybody says, oh, you know, if you get a job doing whatever you really want to do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. Bullshit! You will work every day of your life and then some, okay? You're going to be working long hours. You work more than anything when you do what you love. I have found that out. That is that saying is such bullshit. Now, do I love it? Yes, I do love it, but I don't love spending hours on it at home, report writing and putting the video together and doing it. Yeah, I hate all that shit. So one more thing I want to throw in real quick before I go. A lot of my videos are not uploaded on the day that it happens or even the day after it happens. A lot of times these videos are being uploaded days, but more likely weeks after they were recorded. And the reason for that is, especially if I'm showing what city I'm in, especially like there's a small town that I've been going to, that I have absolutely fallen in love with this small town. I adore it. I love it. I want to move there. So I recorded as much of this cute little town as I could just to show you guys. But I'm waiting for that case to be done. And then I'm giving it like 2 weeks for everything to be sent and, you know, signed, sealed, delivered, and closed. And then I will upload that when I know I'm probably not going to be in that city for that subject again. At least not for quite some time, right? Sometimes they'll reopen cases and be like, hey, we didn't get much last time, but they'll wait months to do that. So yeah, so I just want to let you guys know, sometimes you might be saying, hey, today she's in Youngstown, Ohio, or today she's in South Euclid, Ohio, or whatever. Honestly, I was probably there like 2 weeks ago. Maybe more. It just depends. So that's why I kind of wanted to make this so that I had some content that I could upload and I could show you guys. And I'm sure a lot of content creators do that. I'm sure they make videos and then upload them later or put them into a queue. And that's what I'm starting to do on YouTube is I can say, hey, upload this. I'm going to go ahead and upload this, but don't post it until this date. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm post-dating a lot of videos, so just so you know. So just keep an eye out. I've got things that are in the queue to be posted on certain dates. I may have to push those forward if for some reason the investigation gets extended. But I just don't want a chance uploading something where I was somewhere, especially the small towns, where I was somewhere and that's still an active investigation. Even though I'm not showing like my subject or, you know, the house or anything to do with the subject, sometimes still the neighborhood, they're like, oh, hey, I know that neighborhood, or hey, I'm a workers' comp and I live in that neighborhood. I know that church, or I know this, blah, blah, blah. Just to avoid any of that, it probably won't be uploaded until after the case is done. So just an FYI. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Or like, comment, and subscribe, whatever. Like it. Even if you just leave emoji, even if you're just like, yeah, this was okay, yeah, whatever. I appreciate it. It really helps the algorithm. I'm trying to move everything from like TikTok to YouTube a little bit more because I can make longer videos and I can kind of show you guys more. So, but thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.